There's nothing more satisfying than finding the perfect green paint for your living room. Except maybe popping open that can of Valspar Ultra and rolling that first smooth stroke on the wall. And there's nothing more satisfying than admiring your freshly painted wall.
Ooh.
Except maybe peeling off the painter's tape to see those crisp edges. But the most satisfying part of all? Valspar Ultra's price tag, starting at $29.98 a gallon. Affordable, durable, available at Lowe's. Price varies by Shein.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is where we plunge into different sources and try to pull out the most compelling insights, often from places you might least expect. And today we're embarking on, well, it's truly a delightful and honestly surprisingly profound journey.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one.
We're going to unpack a story that, on the surface, it feels like a charming kid's tale.
Right.
But underneath, it's just packed with wisdom. Real wisdom for anyone navigating sort of the path of self-discovery and finding your purpose.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that nudge, that little inkling that you're meant for something just a tad different than, what's expected of you?
That's exactly the territory we're getting into. So our source material for this deep dive, it's this wonderfully whimsical story called The Strawberry Who Joined a Circus.
A strawberry?
I know, right? You might think, a strawberry? Really? What insights could that offer? But our mission today, well, it's to show you how this seemingly simple narrative holds these potent nuggets of knowledge about discovering yourself, embracing creativity, and definitely building resilience. We'll be looking at not just the lessons, but the actual process of finding your unique place.
A process, yeah.
Because, sometimes the biggest understandings are wrapped up in the most unexpected packages, like a strawberry.
And what a package it is. Okay, let's definitely unpack this.
Yeah.
We're talking about a strawberry with dreams so big, they kind of defy his very nature.
Totally.
This isn't your average, fruit stand story.
Yeah.
Not by a long shot. Our protagonist, Barry, he's this rather ambitious Barry. He makes this audacious declaration. It just grabs you instantly. He looks at his sort of conventional fate, and he boldly states, and I just love this line, I don't want to be breakfast, I want to be in the circus.
Wow. Okay.
Right. That right there, it's not just a dream. It's like a radical rejection of the norm.
Yeah.
And the perfect starting point for our deep dive into daring to be different.
Definitely.
So let's really get to know Barry, this unconventional dreamer. The story paints him as no ordinary Barry. While his friends, his counterparts, were, and the story says, content to sit in baskets or get blended into smoothies, well, Barry had a wildly different vision.
A much bigger vision.
Much bigger.
Yeah.
He wasn't just thinking about something else. He was actively rejecting this predetermined path. The story says he was polishing his seeds like sequins. I mean,
like sequins.
it's brilliant. What does it take for a tiny fruit to not just have such a bold ambition, but to, act on it with that kind of focus?
Well, it's that immediate contrast, isn't it? That's what's so fascinating. Barry isn't just like a little bit different. He's actively, almost defiantly, pushing back against the comfy, expected path.
Right, the easy path.
Exactly. His friends are fine with the basket or the blender, but Barry, he's seeing sequins, the spotlight. And this brings up a really important question for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
How often do we feel destined for that basket or blender, the safe job, the expected role, when deep down we secretly long for something totally different, something that lets us shine?
That's a good question.
Barry's internal drive, that impulse to polish his seeds like he's prepping for a show, it speaks to that universal, often quiet yearning for a path we define ourselves, even if it means stepping way outside the norm.
Yeah.
It's like that first spark of really identifying your own strawberryness, you know? When the world just expects you to be another berry in the pile.
That internal drive, it's so powerful. It's not just dreaming, it's the conviction behind it, believing your dream is valid, even if no one else gets it yet.
Absolutely.
And that conviction, it pretty quickly led Barry somewhere pretty extraordinary, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The story sets the scene beautifully.
Oh.
One summer evening, this traveling fruit and veggie circus rolled into town. And this wasn't just like a local fair.
No, this was the big time.
It was dazzling. A vibrant spectacle. We're talking juggling cucumbers, trampoline tomatoes, and a carrot who could tightrope walk with his leafy hair. Can you picture that?
Amazing.
Into this grand, kind of intimidating arena, Barry, this tiny round strawberry, somehow wiggled his way into the lineup. just wiggled in.
If you connect that to the bigger picture, right? It's about the sheer audacity, taking that huge first step into somewhere totally new, maybe somewhere scary.
Totally scary.
Barry's an anomaly here. Among these established, skilled performers, he's small, different, no obvious circus talent yet.
Right. Yet.
But he shows up. And that highlights something profound about going after any dream. The immense power of just making the effort, putting yourself out there.
Just showing up.
Yeah, despite the doubts, internal or external. It really speaks to the idea that sometimes the hardest part isn't even the performance. It's having the courage to walk through that tent flap in the first place, to declare your intention, even when you feel completely outmatched.
Oh, wow. What incredible courage that must have taken. To look at these seasoned performers, the broccoli strongman, the graceful carrot, and still think, yeah, I belong here, I have something. But, as often happens when we step outside our comfort zone, the path isn't exactly smooth sailing, is it?
Rarely is.
The story describes the initial skepticism Barry faced. Pretty bluntly, the broccoli strongman apparently looked down, scoffed, and said, "What can a tiny strawberry do?"
Ouch.
Yeah, dismissive.
And maybe Barry thought, watch me, inside. But the reality of the big top was a tough teacher.
And this is where the story really digs into persistence and the crucial, often kind of overlooked, role of failure.
Right. We don't like failure much.
We don't. But despite his determination, Barry didn't just find his act immediately. The story details his attempts with this wonderful, almost painful specificity.
Okay.
Barry tried the cannonball act splat.
Oof. Okay.
He tried the trapeze squish.
Oh, no. Messy.
Right? You can almost feel it, the embarrassment, his cheeks getting red, juice dripping.
Yeah.
It would have been so easy, so understandable to just give up then, to roll back to the basket, accept the breakfast future.
Totally. I might have.
But the story's clear. Mistakes aren't just roadblocks. They're actually incredibly valuable catalysts.
Catalysts. How so? Well, Barry's juice-stripping failures weren't the end. They were critical data points. They showed him what didn't work, sure, but maybe more importantly, they were nudging him, subtly, towards what could work.
Ah, okay. I see.
It tells us that real confidence, it isn't born fully formed. It's often forged through that gritty process. Try, fail, adapt intelligently.
Learn from the splats and squishes.
Exactly. It's about learning not just what you can't do, but learning about yourself in the process. What are your actual mechanics?
A splat and a squish. Yeah, definitely not a standing ovation, not an easy path. But that's precisely where the magic and the real insight starts to unfold.
Right here.
The source says, finally, with juice dripping from his seeds, Barry had an idea. And this is it. The pivotal moment that makes the whole story sing.
Right.
Totally. Instead of trying harder to be a cannonball or a trapeze artist, he had a breakthrough. He looked inward at his own unique strawberryness, his perfectly round body. He leveraged that, rolled up a ramp, launched into the air, flipping 3 times before landing perfectly in a cupcake wrapper.
Cupcake wrapper. Brilliant.
The crowd gasped and just erupted. Encore! Encore! I mean, what an incredible aha moment. Instead of forcing himself into someone else's act, he thought, how can this, my basic nature, how can this be my superpower?
And what's truly fascinating here is that shift, that profound shift from imitation to innovation.
Yeah.
Barry stopped trying to fit a pre-existing mold, trying to be the broccoli or the tomato. He paused, reflected on those failures, the splats, the squishes, and crucially, he embraced his own intrinsic qualities. His roundness, his size. He didn't see them as limits anymore. He reframed them. They became unique assets. And this is where the story just unequivocally teaches us that, yeah, everyone has unique talents that can shine in different ways. And maybe more importantly, that mistakes can lead to creative new solutions.
It wasn't just about finding a talent.
No. It was about redefining what talent even meant for him. Understanding that your perceived weaknesses, or just what makes you different, can actually become your greatest strengths.
If you figure out how to use them.
If you figure out how to roll with them, quite literally in his case. His splats and squishes weren't just defeats, they were essential experiments. They showed him the specific dynamics of his body leading to that breakthrough.
And what a breakthrough it turned out to be. Barry didn't just find an act, he created a phenomenon.
He really did. Became the star.
The source tells us, soon Barry became the star of the show. He didn't just fit in, he carved out a whole new niche. Invented signature acts like the strawberry spin cycle and the berry blast bounce.
Love those names.
Me too. always ending, and I love this image, with a bow that sent sparkles of juice into the spotlight.
Visual.
But even more profoundly, his individual success had this ripple effect.
Yeah.
The circus wasn't just about tricks anymore. It was about creativity, silliness, and daring to be different. So what does this really mean for us? Barry didn't just find his act. He changed the whole culture, the identity of the circus. He redefined talent, redefined what was possible.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, Barry's journey just brilliantly illustrates how confidence, real confidence, truly grows when you dare to be yourself.
Yeah.
He wasn't just performing, he was inspiring this whole new ethos for the circus. His uniqueness became the core, the very essence of the show, proving really clearly that being unique makes you unforgettable.
Unforgettable. Good word.
He discovered that the best way to shine is to roll with your own abilities, not imitating, not forcing yourself into roles that just don't fit. His individual brilliance didn't just lift him up, it lifted the whole creative enterprise around him. It showed everyone that authenticity and embracing difference, that can be way more powerful than just conforming. It's a powerful lesson in how one person's unique contribution can actually shift the collective understanding of what excellence really looks like.
What an incredible journey for our little strawberry. From this aspiring, kind of clumsy performer
Yeah, splatting and squishing.
to a dazzling circus star. Barry's story, it's just such a powerful reminder, isn't it? That our distinct qualities, they aren't weaknesses to hide or fix.
No.
They're potential strengths,
Yeah.
just waiting to be discovered, waiting to be unleashed. His path shows us that, yeah, the journey of self-discovery often involves a few splats and squishes.
Always does.
Those moments of failure, embarrassment.
Yeah.
But it's precisely through those experiences that we learn what truly makes us shine.
Exactly. The core message here is just so beautifully clear and I think universally resonant. You don't need to fit in with everyone else's act. Sometimes the best way to shine is to roll with your own.
Roll with your own. Love it.
Barry's story is just a fantastic reminder. Embrace your unique talents. See mistakes not as, the end, but as crucial opportunities for learning, for adaptation, and just having the courage sometimes to simply dare to be yourself. That's the most direct path to genuine confidence, creative breakthroughs, and making a real impact.
Yeah.
It's really a call to look within and leverage what makes you uniquely you.
So as you go about your day, maybe think about your own strawberryness. What's that inherent quality, that unique perspective, that particular skill you bring that maybe you're downplaying? Or, I don't know, even trying to hide?
Good question to ask.
And, building on Barry's brilliant pivot, what cupcake wrapper might be out there waiting for your perfect landing? If you just dare to roll with your own act instead of, trying to cannonball or trapeze your way through life.
Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.